college experience. Young people look forward to it, and adults reminisce over it. A time in people's lives where they can explore, imagine, learn, and have fun. But, just beneath the surface, there's an issue in the way that universities are structured. Dining halls. There are plenty of seating and a wide variety of choices for students to choose from. Everyone seems to be happy and has plenty of food on their plates. At first glance, you may ask, what's the problem? The problem is a great deal of the food that is wasted. The impact of food waste isn't only felt by the kitchen and dining hall. There is a ripple effect felt throughout the supply chain. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, over $165 billion annually are lost due to food waste. There's the initial procurement of food, which the main cost is the initial purchase of the food. Then there's the transportation of the food. The main cost of this step is fuel and labor. Next is the cost of water, gas, and electricity that comes with cooking the food. And finally, there is the final disposal step, which the main monetary cost is again transportation. Not only are there large price tags attached to each of these steps, there are also the issues of carbon footprint each of these steps create.
How would you describe what the issue of food waste is?
When we talk about the impact of food waste on college campuses, we mean a specific problem that plagues universities all over the world. There are 3 different types of food waste. We have avoidable, possibly avoidable, and unavoidable. When we refer to food waste on college campuses, we're referring to the purchased food remaining on the plate after the students have eaten. We believe that this is an avoidable food waste.
In the pandemic world we live in today, we see the issue of food waste and its resources having no end, more specifically on college campuses. What are your thoughts on that negative impact?
I believe college campuses are a hotspot for food waste because in the beginning of the pandemic, there was a big abundance of food being bought all around the stores because there was a fear being built into people that they wouldn't be able to grocery shop, and then that escalated from there. On college campuses, I began to see this food insecurity for college kids with the lack of food accessibility on campus with the restrictions put in place.
I think with something as fragile as food waste that can impact our environment, our economy, and our well-being, it is important to see what positive changes that are made and have been around universities. What are notable changes you have seen involving reducing food waste?
A solution is a food waste pulping system such as the one implemented at Elizabethtown College. This solution takes the food that students scrape off their plate and chews it up. It then extracts the water from that organic waste. The waste and water can then be taken to a facility that puts water and pulp into an aerobic digester along with cow manure. This creates excellent fertilizer. The methane gas produced is used to run a generator that can power homes. In the case of Elizabethtown College, the anaerobic digester produced 200 kilowatts a day, enough to power 200 homes on a local utility grid.
What are some ways that universities can lessen the impact of food waste?
Food presentation can also help lessen the degree of wasted food. Smaller spoons, ladles, and plates help students serve themselves realistic portion sizes, causing a decrease in the waste. Food presentation can also help lessen the degree of wasted food. If the food is presented more nicely, the students will then perceive the dining hall as more of an experience, less than an assembly line. After Montana State University implemented these changes in their dining halls, they saw over 1.5 tons decrease in their waste.
Where do you see this issue of food waste, specifically at universities around the world, in the future?
We believe a combination of all the solutions presented would drastically decrease the monetary and environmental impact of food waste has. I think food quality and presentation makes a big difference because students would come in and just eat on campus and dining halls and leave, but if we were able to change the utensils and plate sizing to a smaller portion, students would then be able to eat for experience. If students are satisfied with the presentation and were provided information about their food, they would be more satisfied and not waste as much. Seeing how universities now are trying to reduce this waste in the future, I see this issue as being greatly resolved and super beneficial given that the universities take the initiative and pique the students' interest to make change.
To tie in with what we've learned in class, Sut Jolly's advertising the end of the world illustrates the physical and material costs of the consumer society and how long we can maintain our present level of production. Similarly, the production of food and the excessive waste of food illustrates the effects it has on our society. While there is much to be done regarding the issue of food waste on college campuses and cities across the world, the first step is acknowledging the problem and making consumers aware of its gravity. We can realistically work together and help put an end to the wastefulness in our own society.